Cheers! Hello!
Sláinte.
Happy holidays from the Denton County Homebrewers Guild. We're here at our Christmas party. Everyone brought food. Everyone brought beer.
Fantastic stuff.
Yes.
Really good stuff.
It's been a great time. We've opened some special bottles just now. Brian and I had a little bit of Ola Dube. What are you picking up here?
Nice whiskey barrel character on that. It's got a nice, like, umami soy kind of thing on it.
It does, yeah.
Like in a good way.
Right.
You know, like that's really nice.
Yeah, I get some smoke. The base beer itself is not too sweet.
Which, yeah, you know, it's old engine oil base.
Right.
So I just found that out. I didn't know this beer,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, the Scottish know what they're doing.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway, so we're incredibly thankful for all of our members that are here and that have participated this year. Some folks are headed out. It's been an absolutely amazing year of brewing. Josh, our president, addressed the club earlier, and he talked about a lot that we've accomplished this year. We've had incredible growth. We've had competition accomplishments, and anyway, I would say this year has been a huge success. All right, so we need to do a member spotlight.
Well, you know, so I kind of had this idea. We've done this before in some of our other videos. We've done a member spotlight video of new members generally.
Yep.
We haven't really talked to any of the older pre-existing members, so to speak. So Josh always does our member spotlight videos, as you've seen with our previous ones. And I was like, okay, well, I'll sit for the member spotlight this time, as long as I can member spotlight you as well.
Right, okay.
So it's a twofer, guys. You're getting a double Happy Merry Christmas member spotlight, Brian Street, and Josh Hanks.
Yeah, this one's gonna be.
Guild.
Yeah, this one's gonna be like one of those gems in the archives.
You're gonna love it, just like you love us.
Yeah, people all through in the future videos, people will be like, I want to go back and find the original spotlight with Josh and Brian.
But you know, like we've been doing this now a couple of years now at Red Coat. We did it last year, then we did it this year. We didn't know. I mean, we're always friends. We've had fun, but when we got up in front of camera together, we have a good comic chemistry.
Yes.
I thought we play well off each other.
Yep.
We alternate being each other's straight man, but each other's crazy fun guy too. So
Right.
we have fun with it. And I just if I'm going to sit down and do this with anybody, I want to do it with my friend.
Very good. So, do you want to go first, or should I?
Go ahead. You always start us off, so you can start interviewing me, and I'll just flip it back around.
Okay. So, you've been brewing longer than I have. How long?
It's been almost 26-ish years. It's been nearly 26 years, I think. I got into brewing with, I don't know if you remember them, Homebrew Headquarters?
Oh, yes.
Over Richmond? Okay.
Yep.
Kelly
Shout out
and
to
those
Dennis.
guys over there?
Or, no, Homebrew Headquarters, that wasn't Dennis. But yes.
Kelly owned it, and then there
yes.
was a few other guys that worked in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dennis,
I used to shop there.
So my father, actually, which, as you know, passed away this year, my father got me involved in homebrewing. He entered a raffle or something he saw for a free homebrew kit, and he won it. And it was right around the 4th of July, 25-ish years ago. I had just turned 22. I think I just turned 22. It was right before I went I was in the military, I think. I was home on leave, something like that. But he won this kit, learned a homebrew kit. And it was, 2 plastic buckets and some malt extract, and it was an amber ale. And we brewed it up, and I came back, later on when I had another leave, and I was like, man, this is the best beer I've ever had in my life. I wasn't exactly a Bud Miller Coors guy. I drank some other stuff still even then, but, I was just like, whoa, this is better than anything we're getting generally with mass market beer. I'm sure it was horrible, but through the rose-colored lens of time, it was great. And so my dad got into it a lot from there. And I got into it off and on throughout the years as I could with my career, moving around in the military and then the oil and gas industry and things like that. But then when I got out of that and settled into more things I want to do, another more stable, I was able to get more into homebrewing. And I got really hard into it with Dennis and Barron's Brew Works up here in Denton when they were open.
Yes.
And that was almost 10 years, 10 years ago now? Something like that?
I was shopping there in 2015.
So yeah, it's been almost 10 years,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So when that did it, I got more into it hardcore then. started out with the partial mash, steeping grain thing, all that, and then I went quickly into all grain from there. I knew a lot of the theory. I just finally bit the bullet and went into it. And saw a flyer for the Denton County Homebrewers Guild when we were meeting over at Audacity.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. Toast Tinswald was our president at the time. But T. Michael Miller was there. John McDonald. Members that are not, here. I mean, they're still alive, but they've moved or retired and moved out of state, things like that.
Right.
Toast has gone pro, things like that.
Yes.
But those guys introduced me to the club, introduced us to all you guys, and I was like, a like-minded group of people that have as much passion and love for this hobby and making great beer as I do, and I could really kind of geek out and get into the science and the nerdier aspects of it. I've always been a, sciencey kind of guy. I like the water chemistry side of things, and all that. That was my jam. I was loving it. And then I started figuring out the comp stuff, the competition, and then I was like, I can be competitive with this. I'm a competitive natured person to start with. I was like, I can compete in brewing beer. Like, hell yeah, let's go. So I jumped on as quick as I could. But just the friendship, the fellowship, the camaraderie. From all you guys up here and all the other clubs that I'm involved with. They really it was, sold me hook, line, and sinker. So,
yeah.
So how did you get into it?
Well, you played a pretty important role in my development as a brewer. I guess not my initial start. So my wife bought me a 1 gallon kit from Bed Bath and Beyond. Back in 2015.
Okay.
And it's a stovetop 1 gallon kit. It was an all grain kit.
Do you think she regrets that?
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
I have friends that are into other hobbies.
Yeah.
And I have other hobbies such as cycling.
Yeah, you do. You insane
That's expensive. I'm into firearms.
Yeah, we both do that too.
That's insanely expensive.
Ooh, yeah.
So
honestly, probably homebrewing is one of our least expensive hobbies.
Yes.
Probably, right? Yeah.
You're into Warhammer.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on strategic war games, collecting and painting minifigures. Oh my god.
Yeah. So every time I spend money on guns, or I buy $100 pair of tires for my bike, she's like, "I love homebrewing. Homebrewing's amazing." So
I'm personally glad she did it because you're my friend, but also you make great beers.
Thank you.
So I've got exposed to stuff through you.
So yeah, I was in an apartment. I was doing 1 gallon batches, stovetop, and I took a ton of pride in my versatility doing 1 gallon stovetop batches. I was able to experiment. I could pump out a batch very quickly. You're coming up to a boil on a 1 gallon stovetop. It's instantaneous.
It was really. I remember when you were first kind of starting to bring stuff, and I wasn't in the club that long at the time, but I remember you kept bringing in your I brought in a bottle.
Right.
Of my 6. Like you would do a 6-pack worth of beer essentially.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then we went over for that brew day at your place that one time. And I saw you doing that stovetop with the 1 gallon setup. And at the time I kind of, because a lot of us are bigger is better and more gear and blah, blah, blah. But you kind of went the other way to start.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of really genius of
Yeah.
the small batch thing.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, you can do quicker, more experiments, more data points.
Right.
More,
Yes. And
more exploration.
I graduated to a 3 gallon thing.
Yeah.
And I was
Slow down.
Yeah. And with my 3 gallon setup, I had a sous vide cooker.
I know.
Yeah.
The sous vide beer, that was when you did the hay saison.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
you were like, how much alfalfa hay should I put?
Right,
And I was like, what the fuck did I walk into with this guy?
Yeah.
But the beer was good.
The beer was good.
Yeah.
Scored well in various different competitions. There's at least one bottle still kicking around in the fridge. So anyway, that was my start, is very small batches, experimentation, weird stuff, mixed culture. And since then, I have, grown to brew to style. I'm doing 5 gallon batches. I'm going down the BJCP list. I was really seriously chasing Master Homebrewer points.
The MHP program, which I saw you just made Master.
Thank you.
Welcome to the club.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're also a Master?
Yeah. I'm like 1 score sheet away from Grandmaster 1. I'm still chasing that
Oh,
one.
I see.
It
So
is
you just need 143.
Oh my God. The 38s are easy.
Right.
But when you're starting to try to get those
Yeah.
43s and it's like you're almost there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. There's about a million miles between a 38 and a 43.
But that's good. You know, it
You're
should
right.
be something worthy of pursuit.
Yeah, it's a bit of
some effort.
I guess it's a logarithmic scale.
Yeah.
Where the difference between a 38 and a 43 is it's a big jump.
You're getting there.
I guess in some ways it's small adjustments, but
That's what we've learned a lot
Right.
with our feedback stuff is small adjustments on brewing water chemistry. We're chasing like 5 points.
right.
And we're going against some of the best brewers in the country.
Yes,
You guys.
and also I think it's worth mentioning that the judges are calibrating against higher and higher
It's getting
quality
the whole
beers.
group overall is getting better and
Yeah,
better and better.
yeah.
Exactly.
A beer that was a 43 10 years ago
Yeah.
is a 38 now.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
my master homebrewer hot take, and I will accept the comment. I will accept all of your opinions in the comment section with dissent. So anyway, this year I hit master. I hit grandmaster, and so
You get master.
I'm sorry, I did hit master. I didn't
master.
hit grandmaster. You're one away from grandmaster.
We're going to get there, though.
I'm
Together,
not a
we're gonna get
grandmaster
there.
yet. Please edit that out. Here, edit that out.
Staying.
I hit master this year, and I'm very proud of that. And my goal for 2025 is really to lean into just brewing more weird, random, fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Yeah,
Kind
not,
of more what you were doing to start with.
yeah,
Sort of.
not just chasing style points on a score sheet, not points for a style, not
Yeah.
chasing the next rank in MHP, but rather really just embracing what do I have on hand, because I
Yeah.
have a ton of hops in my fridge that I need to burn through. So anyway, that's really
Relax, don't worry, have a homebrew.
exactly, yeah. So that's the direction that I'm going in 2025, and if any of those beers win medals, great. I have points to be earned in the weird specialty
Okay,
herb
cool.
spice categories.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So we may see some convenient
Convergence,
convergences
yeah,
there.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
yeah. So
Right.
that's pretty much where I am going into 2025.
Let's see, what else we normally ask somebody on one of these?
Um,
It's been a while since I've done one of these. That's actually another reason I want to do this. We've gotten out of practice of doing the member focus stuff. So,
right.
favorite beers,
Favorite beers?
favorite beer styles, stuff like that.
You know,
I know you're a huge fan of Saison. You were
Yes.
a big Jester King guy.
yeah, I am a big Jester King guy.
Yeah. You were doing your own home culture stuff for a long
Right.
time. I think you still are. right?
Yeah, I'll drink saison any day of the week. So just about any saison is my favorite beer.
Yeah.
It's hard to get saisons around here, so a lot of what I drink on a hot Texas summer day is Hans Pils.
Nice.
And
Nothing wrong with that.
I love to philosophically argue that Hans Pils is a saison. They call it a German Pils. But
We're gonna
any-
have to dig into that later.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a philosophical argument there, and I won't bore you all with it on this spotlight. That deserves its own video.
Right.
But anyway, a lot of the hobby pills of the world and the saisons. What about you?
Well, I'm a British beer nerd. Probably my favorite style. I vacillate between Scottish ales and English bitters. I love a good best bitter. It's damn near the perfect beer to me. The only thing even close is a good Scottish ale.
Yep.
I love a good malty, low hopped, low mineral hardness on the water Scottish ale. But man, I like a nice good English bitter with some high sulfate content on it. Borderline. I don't know how else to describe it. I got a theory that we talked about before.
Like a 4-to-1 sulfate to chloride
Yeah,
ratio?
3 to 1, 4 to 1, something like that. Harder water, things like that. The Burtonized water, but not actually Burtonized water. Nobody, I swear to God, nobody brewed with actual Burtonized water. Nobody did. The Burton breweries did not brew with Burtonized water. They diluted that stuff down. There's no way they brew with the. If you look at the sulfate content in actual Burton water, it's insane.
You mean I shouldn't have just a shit
You know
ton of
what?
gypsum?
You
in
should go ahead because that'll make it easier for me to beat you in those categories. If you want laxative beer, you go right ahead, dude. Anyways, I had a theory that if we had retained our British brewing culture here in Texas or in the U.S. and not rebelled against the king and gone with the more German immigrants and came with the German brewing culture, I think we would have had something more similar to Australian sparkling ale, Australian pub ale would have evolved to the American beer style. We would have Americanized English bitters instead of Americanizing German pilsners, which is what Bud Miller Coors did.
I see.
A fine American pilsner it's not one soldier down, but we had to if we would have Americanized English bitters, we would have had something closer to an Australian sparkling ale, of an English pub ale, appropriate for hot weather, warmer climate, local ingredients, just like they did down there.
Like Budweiser would be an ale brewery.
An ale brewery.
Yeah.
We would have Bud Miller Coors, but they would be
they'd be ale brewers.
Smith, John, and Stevens. I don't know, whatever.
That's
it would have
true.
been something like that.
We need to set the alternative history.
Some Harry
folks.
Turtle Dove kind of stuff. For
Yeah.
you guys that are in all history kind of thing.
Somebody in the alternative history world needs to start writing. They need to start writing. This is.
But that we would have had instead of Texas brown ale, we would have had Texas bitter.
Yeah.
Texas pub ale, something like that. And I think it would be something close to an Australian sparkling ale. But I can't prove it. Can't prove a negative. So.
Right.
But anyway, that's a theory of mine. So that's English beers are really my jam.
Very cool.
That's what I like the most.
Yeah, and because of that, we have Texas Redcoat, and I've learned to brew English beers. It's styles that I never would have gotten into if not for that competition, and here we are. And it's like, okay, now I have that in my toolbox.
Exactly.
And I get to go forward with those skills.
Learning more skills. That's what it's all about. Just learning more history, more skills, more ways to skin the cat, get things done.
Yeah.
So.
I think the only other thing that I would want to mention while we're here is, as always, thank you to Dayton County Brewing Company.
Absolutely.
Seth. Last night they had their S'mores and Pours event.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes. You and I were here at different times.
I know. I didn't know we missed each other. And Keith and Natalie also.
So we were doing the poker thing and the beer.
Yeah, my wife and Deborah and I were doing that too.
Help me remember how do you call that thing?
It's a Spankler or Spikler.
Right.
I forget what it is exactly. It's a metal poker you heat up, and then you stick it in the beer.
Yes.
A lot of Germans. It's a German brewing thing where they would do it with a lot of like Box, Doppelbox,
right.
Higher sugar content, residual sugar beers. You caramelize that sugar around the hot metal of the poker, and it completely changes the flavor and character of the beer.
Yeah, and so you tried it last night?
I did. We did a few beers
with it. What beer did you try that with?
I did it with the double chocolate cherry stout.
Yep.
I did it with the barrel-aged oatmeal stout. I did it with a few other ones, but those two stood out on me.
I tried it with the Wassail Stout.
I didn't see. I had the Wassail Stout today, but I didn't have it last night.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize.
The heat with the spices from the Wassail. That really brings about even more of the spices with the heat.
It was really interesting. It would take things that were higher sugar content and it would instantly caramelize them and really get rid of some of that sugar, the sweetness.
Yeah.
Make it kind of a burnt character. But if you had the residual bitterness that was still there, it would change the balance of the beer. So a beer that was sweet forward would all of a sudden become bitter forward. It did weird things to the beer, so it was really fun and cool experiment to do. It was neat. I'm glad we did it.
Absolutely.
I never thought about doing that, but I've seen it, but I was like, I'm not sticking a hot poker in my beer. That's dumb,
Right.
Actually, it's not so dumb. It was kind of fun. It was kind of cool, So don't look down your nose at things. You learn a lot of cool stuff.
Okay, as we wrap up, Dayton County Homebrewers Guild, please follow, subscribe.
Please.
And while we're on this topic, thank you again to Dayton County Homebrewers Guild. While we're on that topic, Union Bear, Toasty Bros,
yes.
Black Fox. Please, go spend your money there.
Anderson's Distillery.
Yes,
the
might as well.
Great.
Well, yes, yeah.
I know we're kind of a brewing podcast, but there's some cool guys over there.
Here we are.
So.
All right.
We've got Blue Bonnet Brew Off coming up, which some of y'all may know. I'm social media director with Blue Bonnet Brew Off. We're doing a pub crawl up here in Denton with all the breweries and stuff up here. A lot of us will be up here hanging out with you guys, directing you around and show you stuff. You've been here the past couple of years. We've done that. We will still do that. We'll hang out, have some good times, some good beers, good food. We'll have a great time here. We just did our officer elections for Denton County this year. You're our social media director again, basically.
Appointed.
So appointed. That's appointed position. I'm VP this year.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
You're, my vote counts.
I've done it for before, so.
My vote counts.
So, but we look forward to doing more with you guys and for you guys up here with the club. Please reach out to us, like, subscribe, share, like we've said before. Even if it's not your jam, it's not your thing. If you do that, it helps drive up the numbers and the algorithm for YouTube. It helps to get this message out in front of more people, which we also try to push out the messages for our other clubs that we work with, Horsemen, North Texas Homebrewers, Cap and Hair, Blue Water Brew Off the organization, all those guys. So we can get their message out more too, along with ours, and just lift. A rising tide should lift all boats is a big thing of mine.
Yep.
We should help each other out as much as possible. So if you help us out, you're helping them out. If you're in those clubs, you're helping us out. You're helping yourselves out. And just like, subscribe, and share, and we'll all do better together and get more of this message out in front of more people.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
All right, cut.
So
I heard Imperial Red. That's not a very popular.
we're recording.
That's what I mean. That's so like I love the style.
Can you just make sure everything looks good on there, if you don't mind?
Imperial Red, smoky one. You making Imperial Red? We're gonna do one genuine. Oh, yeah. I love it.
So just treat. Just treat it just like we would normally do a regular member spotlight or whatever. Just how I got started, and I'll ask you how'd you get started, and we'll just go back and forth like we've done before.
Okay.
Our positions in the club, whatever. We can trim it up and cut it down, whatever you want to do.
All right.
So, if we're live, you can start whenever you want to.
All right, and then I'd like to add one final thought. You can cut to this.
We do the outtakes video afterwards, right?
Right.
It's always an outtakes video.
We'll get to Barry in a second. We got a peanut gallery here.
What's up with homebrewers' wives being so out of their league?
Oh, dude, I know. Yeah.
What is this?
Well, they like smart dudes.
Yeah. I mean, we're ugly, but gosh, we know something.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, guys. Bye. We're already
Bye.
cut, so
Yes.
this is in the outtake section.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right.
Bye.
That's it. You're going to stop? Yeah.